Janet is here again. The family robot is here. Woo! I'm Janet Ajobiewe. I'm a family coach and I'm a rescue agent on a global mission. It's always my joy to be here. This month's webinar is so lit, powerful, and I love it. You know what? It's so distinguished from all the other ones because this is my 10th year wedding anniversary edition. Wow. My marriage, my pride. That's the theme for this month. And yesterday, we really trashed out a lot of things. We discussed about love. We discussed about many things. In fact, we didn't hide anything. If you know how my husband did yesterday, if you missed it, quickly catch a replay. And thanks my moderator, Wale Adeyemi. Angel Wale Adeyemi, she did so well too. Today, we are going to come up again. And you know what? During yesterday's session, we got so many comments, and in my private box, we got a lot of questions, comments, and this now we had to come up with, okay, what are the things that we can quickly trash today in this while this webinar is going on? And the ones that take the lead is on crisis, conflict, and its resolution. Then, especially the in-law matters, the questions were coming up on in-law matters. We are going to trash it. We are going to explain as God lead us. My husband is in the house again. You see, it's good to marry a man that supports your vision. He doesn't usually like coming up like this, but because of me, because of you, because of marriages in this life, is coming up again. And today, Angel Wale Adeyemi is unavoidably absent. So it's going to be me and my husband. In fact, me and mine. Wow. So without wasting much of our time, from wherever you're watching, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are very set to trash questions. Please send in questions as we talk, as we discuss. Let me bring up my husband now, Pastor Victor Ajobiewe. He's been very supportive, and from experience, I know he can justify a lot of questions without sentiment. So join me to welcome him. Thank you for coming again. Thank you, dear.
Thank you very much.
I am grateful
for bringing me on, and thank everyone that is out there listening to us this time. I believe that today's webinar also shall be a blessing to you. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. Congratulations to us again on our 10th year wedding anniversary.
Yes. Congratulations, my sweetheart.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dear. So today, because of all that we did yesterday, many people were asking me, what is it only the jolly aspects that we enjoyed? What about conflict? Didn't we have conflict, even though we talked about those things, but questions still generated out of conflict and its resolution? Please, I want you to shed more light and also contribute. What do you understand by conflict? What do you understand by its management? How do we handle conflict and conflict resolution? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The truth is that every relationship will always experience conflict.
Yes.
And thank God, conflict is a good thing in marriage.
Because you said good thing.
Yes. Conflict is a good thing because when there is conflict, after the conflict, you are able to resolve it. It makes or strengthens your marriage. You know, when we talk about conflict, conflict is talking about a disagreement, serious disagreement, or argument between partners, the husband and his wife. And in such a situation, there will always be disagreements. There will always be clash of interest in marriage. So we mustn't see it as why conflict? Conflict will always come up. What is the opposite of conflict? The opposite of conflict is agreement. After conflict comes agreement. And when there is agreement, it strengthens the relationship. Amos chapter 3 verse 3 says, can two walk together except they agree? So that means in spite of the conflict, there should always be agreement at the end of it. And that is why we must not overlook the place of conflict in marriage. It is very, very vital. And then in marriage, we have different kinds of conflicts. You can name them, Conflict could be a partner treating his partner stupid, or treating your partner as inferior when you believe that you are better than her, or she believes that she's better than you. There can always be conflict. When the man looks down on the woman, or the woman looks down on the man, this will always bring about conflict in marriage. Then there's a place of being possessive, where the partner is always possessive, always jealous, and demands too much attention. That means the person demands too much attention all time from his or her own partner. And this will always generate conflict in the house. When the person is too possessive, the person is jealous, it brings about clash of interest. Then there's a place of when you neglect your partner, or you reject your partner, you ignore their feelings. You know that in marriage we all have feelings, and the truth is that women have more feelings, need for feelings, than men, because women are emotional. That is their nature. So when the man begins to ignore the feelings of his wife, there will always be conflict in the house. Praise the Lord. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, you said conflict is good in marriage. Can you, from all this your explanation, can you please just balance it for us? Because I wonder.
Why I say that, you know, there's a saying that says, we disagree to agree.
Thank you.
We disagree to agree. That's why I say that after conflict comes agreement.
Yes.
And when there is agreement, it will strengthen the relationship. You know, there are times that there are times that your partner might be suffering in silence, might not be able to say anything. She doesn't have a voice, or he doesn't have a voice in the home. So you might think everything is good, but the person is suffering in silence. There's no conflict as it were. But the truth is that there is conflict, but they are unable to confront what is going on.
Express it.
Yes, or to express it. At the end, you know, the end result will be catastrophic. And that is why I say that conflict is good, because at the end it will bring forth agreement.
Okay, so the conflict that ends in agreement is good. Thank you so much. Thank you. The conflict that ends in disagreement is never good. Thank you. Now we are narrowing these things down. You know, what you said about, you talked about emotions, you talked about feelings, expressions. Those are the key things in conflict. Now, I want us to narrow this down, because I have a lot of questions on in-law matters. I know that there are conflicts between husband and wife on so many other areas, but I got a lot of questions. I think we need to tackle conflict on in-laws, then its resolution. Let me quickly ask you, who should our in-laws be to us in marriage?
Yeah.
In-law to the wife, in-law to the husband.
They should be in-laws. What should they be to us? They should be in-laws. There is the
And
place
in-law.
there's the place of being an in-law. You know, an in-law is a third party. Whatever you call them, be it father, be it mother, be it sister, be it daughter-in-law, they are all third parties.
To
And when it
marriage.
comes, yes, to marriage, and you know, in marriage, we say that you don't give room to third parties in your marriage. But that doesn't mean that they are not part of your life. In-laws are part of our lives in marriage. But understand that you must be able to give them their place. The place of the in-law should not supersede the place of the husband. The place of the in-law should not supersede the place of the wife.
Okay.
In marriage, your husband comes first. In marriage, your wife comes first.
Before the in-laws.
Yes, before you begin to think of in-laws. Definitely, everybody comes from a family. The man comes from a family. The wife comes from a family. At the end of the day, you cannot do without them because they are part of your life and will continue to be part of your life. But understand that in your marriage, whatever you do must not hurt your husband, must not hurt the wife. That is why in the place of in-laws, you see a lot of families, there are conflicts with the in-law. A wife will say, I pray that a woman will say, I pray I marry a man that doesn't have mother-in-law. But it's not possible. The mother-in-law might be dead, the father-in-law is there. The father-in-law might be dead. What about the siblings? They are all there. And you need family around you. You can't live life alone. You are not an island. Yes, you are not an island. The basis of all this is wisdom and understanding. Like for me, I remember when my mom was alive, you know, there are times that my mom would want to intrude into our marriage. But I let her know, I get her to know that please, this is my marriage. I have the final say over it. I remember the years back when we were believing God for the fruit of the womb. And after we got married, my mother told me, she called me and told me that my wife should come to her place. She wants to take her to a place they will pray for her so that she can get pregnant. I say, me. I said, how can you tell me to take my wife, to send my wife to you? Because I say, whatever God cannot do, may it remain undone. But because you want my wife to be pregnant until I send her to you, you know, I had to protect my wife. I told my mom categorically, my wife is going nowhere. My dad called me to tell me that is it not for good? I told them capital no. And it ended there. There was no, what do you call it? There was no issue again about it. Because as a man, I had to handle it. Had it been, they called my wife. Because my dad called my wife too and told her that she should talk to me. She said that whatever I've said should be the final. And truly, you know, in such a situation, I've already handled it my own way. My wife is my wife. I can't send her to you. That is the end, no matter what you do. And so in such a situation, wisdom was employed. If it's another man now, we tell the wife, well, carry your load and come and go. They are looking for, they are calling you. Go. You know, in such a situation, you are not protecting her. So that is why the place of in-laws, we cannot overlook it, even though in-laws are important in marriage.
There's a question say, please, ma, how do you handle toxic in-laws? Nothing you do satisfy them.
And when you know that you have toxic in-laws, you put them at arm's length. That is the advice I will give.
Set boundary.
Yes, put them at arm's length, whereby you set a boundary where they cannot cross. If a toxic in-law wants to visit you, you tell the person, how many days do you want to stay? If they go, I want to use 2 weeks, you tell him you cannot stay for 2 weeks. Please, you stay for so days. And if he knows that those days will not be enough, okay, maybe you reschedule your visit. And that visit might not happen again. To be sincere, I've seen where in-laws come home to visit, and after they depart, the problem in the house will aggravate, because the person will have sowed seeds of discord in marriage, and it is not right. Marriage is to be enjoyed, not to be endured. You don't need a third party that will come and cause challenges in your home that at the end of the day, to solve it might become very difficult. So when you have a toxic in-law, be it your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, the siblings of your partner, you must be able to draw a boundary where you know that, okay, such a person, your wife might tell you, please, I don't want them to come. What do? Will you force them, will you make them to come by force so that your wife will be unhappy? No, you need to listen to your wife, and you know how to go about it. It's either you go and visit them and spend just hours with them and come back. Or if you know it's far, you go and spend 1 day, 2 days, you return back. So we need wisdom in handling toxic relationship.
Thank you so much, sir. I will want to contribute on this, sir. Yes. I know that you are a principled man, and from experience, I want to call you a lion, that everybody knows that you are principled and you don't want it to be bent or tampered with. But do you know that some people already have a mindset about family? This is my family. This is where I grew up from. I grew up among them. So you, my husband, cannot just come in between us. It's not possible. In such a situation, I would want to advise couples, please drop all those mindsets that you are bringing into marriage. Please drop. You see, we are so many times we are so rigid that we don't want anything, especially from our partners, to tamper with our rigidity, with our mindset. Many people, many wives have said it, that my husband talk to my sisters not to come. No, I'd rather leave the man and go and meet them. Drop those rigid mindsets. And you see, when he was talking about setting boundaries, I feel boundaries should be set from the beginning. In our place in Yoruba land in Nigeria, we have an adage that says, what you will not eat, don't smell it. We use wisdom. Don't, because somebody is coming, the boundary you will now be set. And please, you have to balance it. Whatever you do for your husband's family members is the same thing that should be applied. It should be applicable to your own family. You don't say your family should spend, your husband's family or your wife's family should spend 2 days, and your own family come to spend 20 days. You should know that one is calling for trouble. So we should learn to balance things. When you give boundaries, fine, let it be the same. Once you're communicating it to your spouse, and this will be for my family too. When you do it, it will help your spouse to calm down. In case your spouse wants to think like you are not loving to my family, by the time you quickly bring it up like, okay, let it be a principle, even with my family, it will be okay. Excuse me, please. Sorry. So Boundary, balancing equations, very, very important. Another question say, is it okay to be doing all the house chores when you go for holiday in the family house? Why younger in-laws sit and do nothing? How best can one handle this?
The
Sir?
best way to go about this is, if you go there, you know, like where we come from in Nigeria, when you travel to the in-laws place, they believe that being the wife, as a woman, you are supposed to do all the work in the house. All the wives that come, they tell them, okay, go and sweep, go and cook, and do all this. Is the culture. You know, for you as a man, if you don't want that for your wife, it's not by force for your wife to go there, because you need to protect your wife. You know, I remember it happened to us during the burial of my mom. We went home, and most of my aunties were now saying, my wife, she know she's a wife of the house. They will wake her early in the morning. They will tell her, come and sweep the ground and come and wash. Where are the other wives? All of you, come. They will be working. And I didn't want it. So what I did was to go and book a place in a hotel. And I and my wife were in the hotel. In the morning, after we've had enough time, we'll come. By the time we get down here, they've done those that need to do the work, we do it. And when it's in the evening, I will tell them I'm going with my wife. They say, when there's still enough work, I'll tell them, no, please, we are going. Why was I doing that? I was using wisdom. I didn't open my mouth to tell them that, no, I don't like this thing that you are doing. No. How can you be telling my wife to do this? But I had to employ wisdom to be able to say, okay, please, it's time and we are going now. And we leave. At the end of the day, they could not see anything. And it was because I was protecting my wife from such things. You know?
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think from your own end, it is sweet because it is you as their brother that communicated it. There's a question here. It says, who should communicate this information to the in-law in the case of specifying how long they can stay? I think when it comes to in-laws, the son or the daughter, the brother or the sister, I mean the spouse, should communicate to his family. It is not the wife that will communicate to the in-laws. It will definitely be regarded as being rude. That's the truth. I cannot talk to my brother-in-laws and tell them I can't do it. They will regard it. We are all human beings. What if it's your own in-law, that your own wife that tells you that, or your own brother-in-law that tells you that? You know, we have to put ourselves into this situation. There's no way it won't be regarded as being rude. When he said he protected me from his family when we went home for the burial, sincerely speaking, it wasn't as if I was lazy that I couldn't do it, but the workload was really much. Like there were always work to do, and he saw the rate at which I was sweating, even most times probably not to be able to attend to my son, and he also was busy, so he had to use that wisdom. And I saw that even his brothers too used that wisdom as well. Like when everybody saw that, oh, the husband and wife, I mean their brothers and their wife, they're always together, there was no way they could do anything to single out one wife for accusation. And you see, once they see that you protect your wife, or when you see that you protect your husband, sincerely speaking, it's a matter of time. It's also part of boundary setting. They will get to know you. that this is who you are. For example, in my husband's family, they know that we are always together. If there's anything, they know my husband's eyes are on me. I would want to talk to everyone listening. Please don't leave your partner to be the one to go and discuss inconvenient issues with your family. Do it with your family. The language you will use, they are already used to it. In fact, your body language, they are already used to it. Don't push your wife, don't neglect your spouse to go and relate with your wife, with your family on any inconvenience. That's my suggestion. Sir, the other question that comes in is, somebody said, a cake idea nìyẹn, ìyàwó ilé should work and quench. That means it's not, that means the wife should not work and get fatigued. Okay, thank you so much. How can one handle a situation where the husband keeps giving to his in-laws and keeps giving to his family and keeps saying they were there for him, but doesn't see the need to give it to his wife's parents? Will the wife be justified if she sneaks to send things to her own people?
In situations like this, as you said earlier, we need to balance things. Whatever you do for your family is what you should do for your in-law also. You know, when there is no balance in it, the other side will look at it and say, okay, you prefer your own people than my own people. You know, as a husband and wife, you need to sit down and say, okay, monthly, how much do we send to our parents? It's a simple logic. The amount I'm sending to my parents should be the amount we are sending to her parents. Now, there are situations where some challenges might come up. That one, you know that, okay, it is something that was not planned. When you need to attend to it, you sit down and agree. Okay, look at the challenge from my parents. How do we go about it? You know, in such a situation, there will be peace in the home. If you overlook your wife's family and concentrate on your family alone, I'm telling you, it will cause a lot of bad blood in the family, especially if, as a man, the wife might not be able to talk, but the end result is that at the end of it, it will not be palatable. Then there are some men that neglect their own family to take care of the family of the wife. In such a situation, it is you are trying to create enmity. I've seen people that when the man dies, they will say that this woman, you are a witch. You are the one that stopped the man from helping us. So things must be balanced. Even when he doesn't want to do for his family, you as the wife, you must encourage him. Please, we need to do it for them. No matter the situation, even though they've grieved you or you feel as if they've offended you, but the wife needs to encourage the man to help. So in such a situation, it must be balanced. Whatever you do for A, you do for B.
This is to my own contribution. Thank you so much, sir. See, this is part of marriage. Everyone listening to us, please plan for your in-laws. Plan for them. Give. Don't say you will not give to them. It's not possible. Give them. When they know that you have a particular amount you send frequently, there will be no problem when you will tell them no, you don't have. But where the problem comes is where you don't send at all and they ask, you say no. The same thing with the in-laws. When you balance it, you send to them equally. It won't be like, oh, it's because it's because of the wife that they don't send. I love it when my husband sends to his family, I mean my in-laws. And the same thing he does for my own parents who are his own in-law. Whether it's your sister-in-law, brother-in-law, whatever, those that you know that they are in need, please put them on a budget. No matter how little, let them know that, okay, you will always remember them. So that the time when they will ask and you will say no, it won't be an issue. Thank you so much. How can one... Okay, did we conclude on that? Will the wife be justified if she sneaks to send things to her own people?
Yes, in a situation like that, is the man that caused it. You know, because of what you are doing, you've given room for mistrust. You understand? When a wife begins to do something behind the husband, it's because she can no longer trust him. When a man begins to do something behind the wife, you understand me? That means there's an issue on ground. So is the man that has turned the woman now to do what she was not supposed to do. Now, when you agree to send equally, there will be no room to now begin to say, okay, let me do for this, I won't do for this. No. The wife also has, what do you call it? She has feelings. I can't see my husband, as a woman, I can't see my husband doing for his family. And my family are asking me for things. And I cannot give them anything. And they know that my husband has the capacity for it. Some men, no matter how their wife beg them, they will not agree. They will say, what do you want me to do for them? Will I kill myself? But when it comes to
some women too will never allow their husband to give them.
Some will never allow their husband to give. They will say, what are they looking for? I've seen families where it is the family of the wife that enjoys everything. The family of the man, nothing. Even when they come, they treat them as lepers. Tell the man that please, they must not stay overnight. Today, let them go back. It's not right. We say what is good for the geese is also for the goose is good for the geese. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful. How can one handle a sister-in-law who is staying with them but keeps late night, and my husband doesn't see anything wrong?
Yeah, in a situation like this, if you have an in-law that is staying in the house, one, is she older than him? Two, what's the level of maturity? Do you understand me? Yes. You know where things like this come in is when you know somebody will stay with you, either an in-law, there must be rules in the house. It says where there are no rules, there is no sin. Maybe when she came into the house, there was no rule. Everybody is doing what he likes. So she believes that, okay, from where I came from, nobody was telling me when to come in. Nobody was telling me when to go out. So here I'm also free. So where there is no boundary or rules in the house, if anybody will stay with you, you need to lay down rules. Please, in this house, this is the time that everybody comes in. You must come in by so time. It's very important. The husband, now that you said maybe he's overlooking it, he might not see it as anything bad. You know, there are some men that might see it, okay, if she's old enough, is she not an adult? Leave her. If she's an adult, there's an extent to which you'll be able to control her. That's why they say don't employ somebody you cannot sack. Don't put somebody in your house that you cannot control. You understand me? Yes. If you can, it should be somebody you can control, that you can tell the person, as long as you are under my roof, this is the rule in this house. and you must follow it up. In such a situation, the wife must sit down with the man for them to trash the issue. And if the man is not seeing it in that light, I will advise, because if the woman should try to confront the lady, it might cause a lot of problem in the house. So in such
who
a
should
situation,
be the one to communicate it?
The man. If she is from the man's side, the man should communicate it. If she is from the wife's side, the wife should communicate it. It's easy for a man to lay down the rule in the house. What you don't want to say it immediately. Please tell your cousin, tell your sister, she must not come to this house late again. And in the process where the sister is unable to communicate it to her, the man must take the bold step to talk to her, because he's the head of the home. It is his house. If there's an issue tomorrow, he will be blamed. So you must take charge to confront her, or to confront him, whether it's a man that is staying with them. And all these things are very, very vital.
Okay. And please, I want to balance it as well. Don't be too rigid. For example, in my own family, in my own father's house, once it is 7 o'clock, you don't come in. That's my dad for you. 7 o'clock. In my husband's house, they could come in later. Most of them are men in their family. We have only one male. They have only one female. So the rule is different. Don't be rigid. I cannot say because we come in 7, then it must be 7 to my husband's family. Let's be flexible. Let us understand what has been happening in their family, so that it will not just cause quarrel or disagreement or even conflict. All these things we just need to learn how to resolve it. Our language, our tone, our disposition to all this. Sincerely speaking, there's no person that you have been showing love to in other areas, and it is just in this that you have some dissatisfaction about, that will now say that you are wicked or you don't want him or her. You can't complain about everything, and you will think they will still love you as husband or as wife. All these things, there's no way a man will not want his family to be loved, and there's no way a wife will not want her family to be loved. All these things, we need to balance it. Thank you so much, sir.
I would also like to say from what you say, that they need to balance things. I will say that even though in our own home, truly, we came in not later than, you must be at home before 9, you must be at home, being boys. But in a place where you have an in-law with you, you can't give one another law and give another person another law.
Yes.
The law should be the same. As long as they are staying with you, the law should be the same. What is good for the goose is good for the geese. So in whatever way, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So what I will say, whether be it a man, be it a lady that is staying with you, if there is a time that everybody must come in at the same time, don't flaunt the rule. Don't say because somebody is a man, okay, you can come in, you by 8, you by 7. No. In situation like that, it might be because of the assignment. If the job that the person is doing will not warrant him to be in at that time, you can be flexible. If as a lady, the job she's doing will not warrant her to be in at that time, you can be flexible. So you look at these scenarios, and that is when you can make things to be able to balance things with you. Thank you.
Does parent-in-law have the right or justification to talk to son or daughter-in-law just the way they will talk to their son or daughter in the name of scolding?
It's relative. Relative in the sense that as a man, your parent-in-laws, they are your parents. As a woman, your parent-in-laws are your parents. Now, when it comes to scolding, what was the issue on ground that brought about the scolding? If, for instance, as a parent, you see the husband slapping your daughter or maltreating her, you can get to the extent of talking to him in a way that might not be good. They say respect is reciprocal. The respect you demand from them is the respect you must give back. From where I come from, they say there are some things that your parent-in-law must not see. If you are beating their child before them, it's an abomination that can make them to talk. That means you have lost respect before them. So when you give them and accord them the right respect, I believe there is no in-law, parent-in-law, that will go to the level of talking to his son-in-law anyhow, or the daughter-in-law anyhow. Then in situations like this, as a wife, what is the picture you are painting before your parents concerning your husband? As a husband, what is the picture you are painting before your parents concerning your wife? When you paint a picture that is not respectful, that is the way they will treat her. They will treat her anyhow. If you paint him anyhow before them, they will treat your husband anyhow. So if you don't want such a thing, the respect that you deserve is that same respect, is the same way you tell your parents and treat your you tell your parents and treat your wife the same way before them. So in such a situation, we must understand that what you plant is what you reap. If you plant disrespect, you will reap disrespect. So that is the truth. I believe that in situations where the parent-in-law begin to talk to their son-in-law anyhow, there's a problem somewhere. It's either from the wife or it's either from the man that brought about the issue. So that's how it is from my own point of view.
So thank you so much. I'm grateful for that. And sincerely speaking, you know, when you, please, in-laws, as you are listening, please give regard to your wife, to your son's wife, or to your daughter's husband. Don't say because they are married to your home, then you just disrespect. The truth is, as a human being, we read into tones of languages. The way my mother-in-law, my father-in-law will talk to his son, he might not read meanings to it, but probably I will read meaning to it. Sincerely speaking, it has to be with caution as well. And please, wife or husband, don't hold it against them. Like, she disrespected me, my mother-in-law disrespected me, or my brother-in-law. Please, this issue of in-law conflict, when it starts, the truth is, I have not seen most of them being resolved. The truth of the matter is, let us prevent these things. And you know, women, let me tell you something. I've not seen any woman that wins all the in-laws in a battle, in a fight, or in a conflict about in-laws. Because when you offend the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law has 6 children, you cannot expect all the 6 children to support you. They will definitely take sides to their mother, because the way the mother will even say it, they would sentiments will come in. So
She'll
the
be crying.
Sir?
She'll be crying saying it.
Yes, you know mothers, they will be crying, saying these things to the other children, and this enmity will keep increasing. Please, the best thing is, let's just ignore it. Many things, forgive. Try and forgive. Sir, I want to say some things. Let us talk about in-laws who are terrible. I know because we have been able to handle our own. There are some are very terrible, sir. I heard of a case. Somebody told me about a case that the mother-in-law give her knocks on the head. It's funny. This woman says she has always been enduring until one day, when the woman knocked her head, she knocked her own. That was the day everything stopped. I don't understand why you should get to that stage. And I've seen, there's another one that is so terrible. Mother-in-laws will come home, especially to mother-in-law to the mother of the husband, will come and want to take the place of authority in the house. And for example, even sleeping on their matrimonial bed, saying their bed is good. The other bed in the visitor's room is not good, or displacing the wife from the bed, all in the name of it's my son you marry, it's my son you marry. Please, let's tackle that. What is the wisdom you can give to such wife?
In such situation like that, what I will advise is that when you have a toxic mother-in-law as a wife in the house, you need to be wise.
Yes, sir.
Because one, if you call the mother-in-law a witch, you are calling the mother of your husband witch. And will your husband be happy with you? If you call his mother a witch, he cannot be happy. The truth is that his mother has a place in his heart. She was someone that gave birth to him. She was the same one that brought him up. The truth is that a wife must see that her place cannot be taken. That is the number one wisdom a wife must have. No one can take my place in the heart of my husband. I am married to him. There is the place of the mother. It's not conflicting. No, it's not conflicting. There is the place of the motherly love in the heart of the man. There is a place of the wifey love. Let me use that word. The wife's love in the heart of the man. It's not confusing. Now, sometimes women get this all wrapped up. Then I will advise, one of the things that make women to begin to react, some of them is from the things they hear about mother-in-laws. Even if the mother-in-law is not toxic, when the mother-in-law just reacts more, say, hey, that's what they told us. That's how they behave. Try to have a good rapport. There is no perfect mother-in-law. I'm telling you the truth. There is none, and there can never be. But in the place where you have a toxic mother-in-law, as a wife, you don't need to fight her. One, you need to pray about it. Two, you need to pray about it. Let God touch the heart of your husband to know how to handle the issue. And let God touch the heart of the woman also. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Your husband has the duty to address that issue, not the wife. So when you see such situations, you need to tell your husband so that he can handle it. When he cannot handle it, that means you need to pray very well, so that God will find a job for the mama to carry a load and go. So that you can be, it's true. There's nothing that God cannot do. I want to tell you that there's nothing you pray about genuinely that God does not answer. Confrontation is something that you must avoid. At all costs, avoid confrontation with your in-law. Please, because at the end of the day, as my wife said, you cannot win the battle. When you fight one in-law, the fire will burn. It will now jump from, there are some people that when it's not their fight, they join the fight to fight the fight. Your brother's fight become your fight. Your sister's fight become your fight. Your mother's fight become, so you will now become their enemy. The Lord will give you understanding. Issues of in-laws is not always easy, but a wise woman, scripture says, a wise woman knows how to build up her home. A foolish woman knows how to pull it down. So when you employ wisdom in that issue, even show her love. Show love to your mother-in-law in spite of her wrongdoing. Scripture says love will cover multitude of sin. Keep praying, keep engaging in love, and before you know it, things will turn for good.
Thank you so much. I got a contribution from my husband. He said, I also think that the general mindset about in-laws being toxic contributes to this crisis.
Yes.
Young people should go into marriage with an open, loving mindset to give honor to whom it is due and not expect the worst. Let me share my experience of this. My mother-in-law, my late mother-in-law, the truth is, if you don't know her, you would think she is wicked. My mother-in-law was never wicked. She loves and loves and loves my husband like. And later I discovered that it's not even only my husband that she loves like that, others. But it was later I discovered that. My mother-in-law could call 20 times in a day. Once she calls her son and she didn't get him, the next person is, where is my son? I just called, he's not picking up. Mama, which one? You know, sometimes my mother-in-law will call, hello, my daughter. Hello, mommy. She will say it in Yoruba, please. This is the type of food that my son likes on Sunday. Help me to prepare it. I will look, which one is on this? She's this. I thought she was overly dictating for me, sincerely speaking. But when she came to my place, she showed me a lot of things. She showed me how to cook egusi soup, the way my husband would love it. And I've tried it since 2013, yes, when she came. That is the style I've been using. Let us have open mind. When mommy calls, when she called that, she called that this is the food I should give, it wasn't as if she was dictating. But sometimes she would just remember that, my son needs to eat this food. And she would just call me that I should cook it. It's because of the love that she has for her son that makes her do that. Even though sometimes she crosses the boundary, but it is not out of wickedness or hatred. Sincerely speaking, I want to advise young men and women, please, as we conclude, please, do you have anything to say as we round up?
Yes, concerning a conflict, there is no conflict that cannot be resolved. Conflict is always resolvable when you have an open mind. Don't close your mind that this issue is beyond what we can solve. No. The most important thing is you need to sit down, talk about it. Where is the issue coming from? How do we go about it? There is no challenge without a solution.
Yes.
If you are willing to be sincere with yourselves, the man needs to be sincere, the woman needs to be sincere. The conflict can be resolved. At times when it seems as if conflicts cannot be resolved, it stems out of pride, maybe from one of the party. Pride. Say, this issue now, how can I sit down and be talking to you on this issue? This issue is a closed case. I cannot even talk about it again. It's pride. Number two is either when the person is not willing to listen to the truth. He knows the truth or she knows the truth, but unwilling to listen. Number three is either when a third party is already in the issue that is fueling the crisis. When there is a third party fueling the crisis, in such a situation, it might not be resolved. So these are things you need to check out for. But the truth is, there is no issue with God. He said, with God, all things are possible. When you sit down and you talk about the issue, there's always a way out. That's why I say that we disagree to agree. When there's a disagreement, when there's an argument, sit down to discuss in order to agree. When you agree to strengthen your love, it will strengthen your relationship. One of the things we do in marriage over the past 10 years, whenever there's an issue, we sit down to discuss. This was one of the points we made when we got married, that we will not sleep over an issue. That at least we have to discover it that day. There are times we might not be able to discover it that day, but discuss it that day. But the next day, we trash it. The way you want to trash it is left for you. Sometimes I will have to be the one to go to my wife. Okay, my dear, what's the matter? Tell me what's happening. And she might say, no, she doesn't want to talk. Do I want to tell her I don't know what is happening? I'll say, I don't know. Please tell me. She'll say, okay. She will now start talking. Me too, I'll say my own. Before you know, we'll start laughing over the issue. Sometimes it might be lack of correct communication, or just what do you call it? Lack of understanding. So,
or need for better love, need for more love.
Yes. The conflict, in conclusion, when conflict is not tackled, it will degenerate. And when it degenerates, you cannot tell how far it can go. Conflict not resolved will degenerate. And when it degenerates, you can't tell how far. It's only the hand of God that can help you in such a situation.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. I'm grateful. I would like to conclude with my own saying that, please, women, ladies out there, intending ladies, please marry a man. Don't marry a baby man. Marry a man that can see you and protect you. Marry a man. Marry a man. I'm saying this. I am enjoying what it means by marrying a man. Don't marry a baby man. A baby man, when issue comes up, will tell you, you two now endure. It's not everything you should endure. There are some things the man should step in himself. Excuse me. So please watch before you march into your matrimony. The Lord will help us in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for granting me this audience. Everyone, thank you. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. We came here and you honored us for coming to listen. We're so grateful. Thank you once again. Family robust is a reality, and by the grace of God, our family will always enjoy a robust in the name of Jesus. Amen. I told my husband he will not use more than 30 minutes. And he said, I know we cannot spend. You imagine, this is 1 hour already, but I hope you enjoyed the session today. Tomorrow is another session. We are treating infidelity and forgiveness in marriage. The couples I'm bringing up, Dr. Olusegun and Mrs. Feishayo Adeoye will come up. They will come and share their personal experience. I mean, true life experience about infidelity, how they handled it, and how the forgiveness coming. Please invite your friends, your loved ones, the same time, 5 p.m. in Burkina Faso GMT and 6 p.m. GMT +1 Nigeria time. So please, tomorrow, let's be here again. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.